more perspective on the new security alignment. Attack on one is attack on all, just like NATO Article 5. This is how the Pakistani took it, and according to Turkey, it is purely defensive. And this deterrent that was built in the region by three the most populous and strongest Islamic nation, like we said in the last analysis of this trilateral pact between Turkey, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia, is a kind of begin to happen from the last year. Saudi has went behind American to sign a drones agreement with Ukrainians, and also went to sign a defense agreement with Pakistanis last year, and went to have a coalition of 14 nations to protect shipping in Bab al Mandab. Now, as the power of Iran is increasingly getting, the power and influence of Iran is increasingly getting stronger, not only in the region, but in the entire world, the Saudi also are trying to build their own power so that they can compete. But the fact that the Turkey and Saudi Arabia have their own political contradictions, yet that did not prevent them to come together in this fact, because there is an Israeli factor. The Israeli factor here is that any Muslim country realignment, security realignment, or any gathering or any coalition between a Muslim country for Israel is a red flag. And we've already talked about it, that Israel has literally believed that Turkey is new Iran. This is not just a Mali newspapers or analyst. It's a former Israeli Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, who stood in America and told the Jews that Turkey is a threat to Israel. And now Turkey knows perfectly well that they should not stop and allow Israel to strangle them. Now, the other aspect of it is that Turkey and Pakistani are the ones who stopped Saudi Arabia from retaliating against Iran, according to many military analysts. And as I mentioned, military analysts, many defense and military analysts believe that any defense agreement or pact without United States will not go far. But the problem is that these three countries are the allies of the United States. Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi crown prince, is buying American weaponry. And the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan invited Donald Trump to Istanbul NATO summit. So this is kind of a complicated for Americans. They have been sidelined because of their failure in that region. Saudi has seen that the Americans' weaponry are not effective to defend all what the Iranians are shooting their missiles and their drones attack. So now they go to sign an agreement with Ukraine. And these are the pacts and data behind this security agreement that was signed in the shadow of Haramain in the holy city of Mecca. Attack on one is attack on all. Don't forget, one of them is a founding member of NATO, which is Turkey, and one of the strongest US military ally in that region, and a member of NATO, as I said. And the other one is one of the populous Islamic countries with a nuclear power. And the other one is the compass, the Qibla of all Muslims, and an oil-rich country with a huge influence in the Americans, to the extent that they have signed a civil nuclear deal or project with the Americans without normalizing relationship with Israel, because 24 hours after signing that agreement, Donald Trump says that one of the kind of conditions of signing that agreement is kind of for Saudi to recognize the Israeli state, the Zionist apartheid state of Israel, as a legitimate state without Palestinians having their own state. So I think these are the things behind this security pact, but it is absolutely one of the unseen. And in the other hand, if we look at its other side, it's a bulwark against Iranian influence by Saudi Arabia, and a Turkey is now trying to defend itself against the Israeli aggression, and also Pakistan try to defend itself against the Indian aggression. So now the three Sunni countries have come to realign at the same time. This is what is behind this Saudi Security Pact in the part two, and we will do a Hausa version of it.